Let's talk of a couple of principles of geology. We start with the principle of superposition. Basically, this principle tells us each layer, whenever we find something that looks like this, where we can see different layers of soil, what the principle of superposition tells us, each layer, it is also called stratum, each layer is younger than the one it is resting above, and it is older than the one resting above it. For example, this layer here is younger than this one, it is resting above it, and it is younger than this one since it's below it. The layer that's at the bottom is the oldest layer, and as you go up, the layers get younger. So oldest, next, and then the youngest. Whenever you face a question like this, if you are given a graphic, that's easy. Then you can start at the bottom, oldest to youngest. Pay attention to the wording. What are they saying? What's coming first? What's coming next? What's coming last? That's the way they are layered. That's what you need to focus on. It's easy. It should be common sense. Think, for example, making a layered cake. The first layer that you put is the one at the bottom. The last layer that you put is the one at the top. And then now we have the principle of cross-cutting. Look at the way I highlighted the word cutting. Because actually here we are going to have some features that can be faults or intrusions. Faults that look like this, breaks in the layers, or intrusions that are going to look like this, which are essentially wider faults where we had some other rocks coming in. Okay, you see the examples of intrusions. Now, faults, how are they going to happen? Well, they can happen during earthquakes, for example. What about intrusions? We can have a crack due to an earthquake, but then it's filled by lava. And then we'll have that intrusion would have igneous rock in it. Or the crack stays open and we have sedimentary rocks fallen into it. The key, though, to remember, you can never cut something that did not exist before. So these cuts here that you see, every one of them, they must have happened after these layers were formed. This cut cannot happen before the layers that were here. If it did cut through that layer must have existed before. Let's look at these examples here. For example, we have a graphic of a fault, H. We have a graphic of an intrusion, E, and we have several layers. Now we notice that E is actually cut by H. So that means E occurred or is is older than H. And then E is cutting through D, C, B, and A. So it means it is younger than all of them. F is not cut by anything. So if we start from the youngest, the topmost is going to be G, then F, then H. Since nothing cut H, but it cut through D, so it must be after D, but before F, since it did not cut F. E, it did cut D as well, did not cut F, but it was cut by H. So after H we have E, and then D, C, B, and A. From youngest to oldest, G, F, H, E, D, C, B, and A.